Dragon's Dogma is getting a sequel. It has been announced and we are now awaiting more details to emerge. It is likely in early development, but Dragon's Dogma was the kind of CRPG that was more under the radar and one that is very interesting and different than titles like The Elder Scrolls, which it obviously got its inspirations from, but Dragon's Dogma is very different and unique, and as many have pointed out over the years, looking at this RPG on paper, it may seem strange to those that haven't played it. What makes it so exciting to get a sequel? And today, that's what I want to show you. The reasons why the Dragon Dogma sequel is so exciting, and we're going to be looking at what the first entry offered that really set it apart. Be sure to stay until the end of the video because there's a lot we're going to be unpacking, and like and subscribe to help me out. Now first up, really awesome world. Gransys is the name of the area that you begin your journey in Dragon's Dogma, and there are actually multiple worlds with rifts that allow what is called pawns to travel between them. But we will talk about the pawns in a minute. There are humans that inhabit the world, there are Saurians, Goblins, and many fantastical creatures as well, such as Cyclops and Ogres, Griffins, Cockatrices, Chimera, and so many more. Many will say that Dragon's Dogma's storyline itself isn't all that amazing, and they aren't wrong. But it works because the world is so interesting. It's dangerous as well, and the various NPCs will warn you of the dangers, and it comes across as like an actual honest warning that you either heed or go out and learn on your own. The death of the third dragon in the lore has marked the era, and the game opens up with a dragon attacking Gransys, and thus your journey begins. With undead and liches and giant creatures attacking settlements, the action is non-stop, and the combat itself is something to behold. Instead of just going with the classic CRPG tropes, Dragon's Dogma has a more intuitive feel to it, allowing you more freedom, such as climbing up giant creatures to find their weak points, or using your pawns to help you fight. The pawns are a very interesting part of Dragon's Dogma. They are built into the lore and story, and you make one to be your pawn, but then recruit two others from other people's main pawn. They bring with them their gear and their attitudes, and the pawns learn from their masters, so they can behave so differently depending on your actions. So a piece of you goes out into the universe and it ends up in other people's games, which is absolutely fascinating and something you have to kind of see and experience to fully understand. But it is unique and has never been replicated, and something I'm excited to see return in the Dragon's Dogma sequel. And we got to talk about the loot, because you will quickly realize just how much variation there is in armors and weapons, which leads you to always be on the lookout for something more powerful, and that in and of itself leads to Dragon's Dogma being very addictive and fun. And then we got to talk about how Dragon's Dogma is just so darn replayable. For one thing, the intro at the very start of the game is just so well done. It pulls you in right away, in my opinion, and gets you invested, and many Dragon's Dogma fans own it on multiple platforms for this very reason. Playing through Dragon's Dogma is just so satisfying, and you are always just moments away from another cool thing in the game that is just fun to see, or the gameplay itself is just addicting enough that you want to do it over and over again. However, I will say that like big epic story moments kind of feel like they're, you know, they're pretty far apart, and that's not what I meant when I said that. I'm more talking about, without spoiling anything, just the monsters and the more organic kind of events that happen in the game. And honestly, I think a lot of us Dragon Dogma fans are aware of just how old this game is and how they could improve it for Dragon's Dogma 2, make this into a huge IP instead of its more niche market it has now. And listen, I am not asking them to mainstream it and make it bland. I'm saying flesh out the story, give us some more side quest content, open it up with technology today, and they could make this into something absolutely incredible. And listen, it's Capcom, and they've been on fire lately with the Resident Evil series at least, and I have high hopes that they're going to try to pull this off in such a way that new fans will sprout from it. And I think Capcom can do it. Keep in mind that Dragon's Dogma was their first attempt at trying to make a more Western style RPG, and they did a pretty darn good job. Already, Dragon's Dogma sales on Steam have completely skyrocketed just from the announcement of a sequel being in the works, and I would assume that this isn't just on Steam, but also for the PS4, Xbox, and Switch sales are probably booming as well. Over the years, Dragon's Dogma has released on many different platforms. Let's take a moment to hear from our sponsors, and then we'll be back for more. Real quick, before we continue on with the video, I want to give a thank you to the members of Napalm. This channel is completely community community sponsored. And these are the brave heroes who have stepped forth to strap on their gear and sharpen their blades and are casting the spells of awesome by becoming members of the channel. With exclusive perks, sneak peeks, and more, thank you for your support. And I think you are interested in supporting the channel. Click join down below for a list of options and add your name to the list of knights and mages on the Council of Napalm. And I want to give a very special thank you to the Lords of Napalm, Bounty Code, Jared Woodhouse, Daimlos, Farthest Reach, Not Sid, Sparrow, Carsonik, and Christopher Hensel. Thank you for your highest tier membership. Now on to the video. Now, as many of you have been following me long enough know, I love JRPGs and I love Western RPGs, and I do think that the magic of Dragon's Dogma is the blend of a Japanese development studio creating a Western style RPG. The director of both of these titles, Dragon's Dogma and its sequel, fell in love with RPGs from playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I think everyone knows that I adore D&D and play it here on the channel. And I think if that's your source of inspiration, you are coming from the right place. Dragon's Dogma does indeed feel like a Western RPG, but every once in a while, you can feel the Japanese style approach, and it meshes really well, in my opinion, and gives it this very unique but still grounded high fantasy feeling that makes it appeal to fans of both. If you have not tried Dragon's Dogma before, it is available on basically every console and platform out there, and it is very cheap and definitely worth your time if you enjoy RPGs in any fashion. I've recommended it many times before on this channel, but now with the sequel incoming, it's a great time to throw hundreds of hours possibly at this classic RPG and get ready for whatever it may be that Capcom throws at us. Now, I will be covering the Dragon's Dogma sequel, and we will do a complete playthrough of Dragon's Dogma very soon in anticipation for the sequel, so I hope you will look forward to that and join me on my journey, as it has been many years since my last full playthrough. But in closing, why is Dragon's Dogma 2 so exciting? It boils down to the absolute uniqueness in the world and the fact that it originally launched on the PlayStation 3, and simply put, how far technology has come since 2012 at that time, and the possibilities of what they could do to take their systems, such as the pawns for example, or the open world, or the towns and cities, which basically felt a little dry and empty in the original, and the story and the lore, and take this series to the next level. And I do believe that the passion is there from the team that is developing it, so we have a unique chance to experience something familiar that we already love, but inspiring, and with enough of a twist to make it something new and different. And with the Elder Scrolls 6 feeling like it may be 6 to 10 years away, let's just go ahead and look forward to other RPGs and just kind of, put that to the side, just kind of forget about Elder Scrolls for a while in order to not get depressed at how long it has been since we've had a proper entry. As I said the other day, it has now been so long since the launch of Skyrim, the last single-player Elder Scrolls game, to now, as it was from the first Elder Scrolls releasing to Skyrim releasing, in which case they released 5 entries in that time. So that's just, anyway, I'm getting a little off topic here. That's just depressing. And I believe that honestly, those are reasons enough to get hyped for Dragon's Dogma 2. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you are new here, please consider subscribing for more RPG, JRPG, CRPG, and MMORPG, as well as even tabletop RPG content. And hit that like button to help me battle the YouTube algorithm. But let me know, have you played Dragon's Dogma? Do you like it? Did you love it? What do you think's unique about it? What was your favorite parts in it? Let me know all that and more in the comments down below. Or if you've never tried it and you're gonna try it now, or you're not gonna try it now, let me know, whatever it may be, down below. And until next time, my friends, God bless and happy gaming.